Hi there, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope you all have had a very prosperous weekend so far up to this point, but no, I have. Um, it's been a crazy 48 hours in the world of professional wrestling, as many of you know. Um, Yesterday was the day before. Um, Many of you know that Vince stepped down, retired from WWE. Um, yeah, it's been crazy. Um, so so yeah, and forgive me, that noise you're hearing is my mother walking around in the kitchen. Um, but but yeah, it's been a crazy 48 hours. Massive changes are coming to WWE, I think. Then of course the report came out that Brock Lesnar walked out of SmackDown last night, or yeah, then he came back and proved everybody wrong. So um, yeah, but massive changes are coming to WWE. So yeah, Vince is no longer in charge of creative. Looks like they may go with Bruce Pritchard for now, but that might change. Um, for now, but I don't think he's going to be there in the long term. So yeah, it's been crazy. This week, um, with the biggest party of the summer being literally days away, I figured it'd be appropriate for us to talk about some of the best SummerSlam moments in the history of SummerSlam. And I'm like you, I'm curious to see what's going to happen this year. Um, I'm I can't wait. But let me know what you guys think in the chats below. I mean, what are some of your best SummerSlam moments of all time? And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. SummerSlam moments. The biggest party of the summer has given us some of the best moments in wrestling history. SummerSlam has paved the way for the likes of Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, Triple H, and Edge, just to name a few. Summer Classic is a perfect example that dreams can indeed come true and vice versa. This week on Wrestling Quick Takes, I will be giving you some of my favorite SummerSlam moments. So let's do it. Our first moment takes us back to the year 1992 and SummerSlam 1992. Our first moment takes us back to 1992, where SummerSlam would take place at Wembley Stadium. According to BleacherReport.com, just 1 year after Hart's epic win over Mr. Perfect, SummerSlam reached major international fame by holding the event outside of the United States for the first time. At Wembley Stadium in London, Hart and his brother-in-law, the British Bulldog, battled in front of a rabid crowd of 80,355. The fans got everything they hoped for, as Bulldog's power and Hart's technical mastery combined to create the best match possible. The London fans also got to witness their countrymen win the Intercontinental Championship as Bulldog defeated Hart by reversing his sunset flip attempt. Afterwards, the mutual respect was obvious as the two legends embraced in the ring. It was a beautiful moment and a fitting end to what is certainly the best match in SummerSlam history. So the British Bulldog was definitely a man you had to take seriously with his power and speed and his charisma. And I mean, I didn't think he beat Bret Hart. All right, Mama. Um, yeah, I mean, with Bret Hart's technical mastery, I just didn't think Davy Boy could do it. But he had the will, he showed the belief, he showed the power and prowessness to will his way through, and he pulled it off in an epic match. So yeah, he did it, and it was a great match. SummerSlam 1995. Our next moment takes us back to the year 1995, pitting two brothers against each other. These brothers are a part of the most powerful wrestling family in history, the Hart family. When Bret Hart met his brother Owen Hart at SummerSlam 1995, it turned into a well of a match. Anytime you pair up two wrestling icons, the results are guaranteed to be good. When those two icons also happen to share the same blood, then good immediately changes to historic. That was certainly the case when Bret and Owen Hart battled at SummerSlam, waging one of the most epic wrestling wars of all time, while fighting within the confines of a 15-foot steel cage, 15-foot high steel cage. The two brothers put on an incredible show. The match featured a magical blend of technical skill and bloodthirsty violence as each unleashed some amazing moves. The brutal affair eventually, Bret defeated his younger sibling, submitting him with a sharpshooter to win the WWE Championship. So, um, Brett and Owen really all of a sudden had a bad falling out with each other. It all started at the Royal Rumble in '94. And then, of course, they fought at WrestleMania 10. And from there, they just, they, you, they feuded that whole entire year. And then that led to SummerSlam 95, which Owen Hart kept making all these promises about how he was going to win the title and it was going to be a new reign. And then from there, it just it just wasn't to be Owen's night. He gave one hell of a match, and he just came up short. Brett was the better man that night, and from there, it still sticks with us fans to this day. SummerSlam 2002. Brock Lesnar introduced himself to the world by leaving a path of destruction en route to one of the, the most destructive summers any rookie could have. Brock's 2002 run was simply incredible. He won the 2002 King of the Ring. He beat the likes of RVD, the Hardy Boys, and Test. He also won the King of the Ring and beat the immortal Hulk Hogan, which led him to SummerSlam 2002. Brock Lesnar's rapid ascent to the top of the professional wrestling ladder was completed in 2002 when he took the WWE Championship from The Rock. Just 5 months after stepping into the ring for the first time, it was a beautifully violent match, with Lesnar eventually surviving a rock bottom and finishing off the great one with a devastating F5 with the win. Lesnar became the youngest WWE champion in history at the time, and the next big thing lived up to his name, to his nickname. Lesnar is still a face in the WWE, and with a match against Triple H coming at SummerSlam 2012, he has another opportunity to deliver an instant classic. So Brock Lesnar still going strong today as he did back in 2002. He he can't lose. He won the '03 Royal Rumble match. He won the Royal Rumble this year. Brock Lesnar's definitely on his way to greatness. He beat the Undertaker at WrestleMania 30. Um, he can't be stopped, and age ain't nothing but a factor, and or nothing but a number, shall I say? And Brock, Brock's just on another level right now. He shows no signs of um of stopping. Um, our next moment takes us back to SummerSlam 2000. This moment takes us back to Y2K, the next decade, and tag teams was at an all-time high, and the pace of the championship picture never stopped. These three teams will go down as three of the greatest teams of all time: Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, and the Dudley Boys. They would tell a story which led to one of the most innovative and unique matches that we have ever seen: TLC, tables, ladders, and chairs. In one of the most influential matches in WWE history, Edge and Christian defeated the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys in the first ever tables, ladders, and chairs match. It was a brutal affair, one that perfectly utilized the individual strengths of the competitors, from Edge and Christian unleashing chair attacks to the Dudley's use of the tables to the Hardy Boys' jaw dropping aerial assault. It was easy to see that TLC matches would soon become a staple of the WWE. Edge and Christian eventually retained their tag team championship, but the true winners were the fans. TLC matches are some of the most exciting events in wrestling, and we have the the group in 2000 to thank for that. So I think very highly of these three teams: the Dudleys, the Hardys, and Edge and Christian. I mean, I think they both should be in the Hall of Fame. Edge is in the Hall of Fame, but not Christian, which it sucks. But I mean, you know, I think they both should be in as a tag team. I think the Hardy Boys should be in as a tag team. We know the Dudleys got inducted in 2015. So I think all three teams should be in as teams when it comes to the Hall of Fame, because that night they told a story, and they became household names in WWE. Of course, the Dudleys came over from ECW the year prior, back in '99, and from there they just became a household name. I mean, Devon, get the tables. I mean, the Hardy Boys' use of ladders is still being talked about to this day, and Edge and Christian's usage of chairs is still being talked about to this day. So when you put two and two together, you basically you basically have one of the most intense, lovable, bitter rivalries in the history of tag team wrestling. SummerSlam 1991. The Hitman was only known as a tag team wrestler, but had no proven track record as a singles wrestler. That would all change at SummerSlam 91 when the Hitman would take on Mr. Perfect for the World Wrestling Federation Intercontinental Championship. Bret Hart used to be known for his magnificent tag team performances, but he burst onto the singles stage with his classic victory over Kurt Hennig in 1991. Hart took the Intercontinental Championship from Mr. Perfect despite absorbing in a, an insane amount of punishment throughout the match. After somehow escaping the legendary Perfect Plex, Hart seized the momentum and pulled off the victory to the delight of the raucous Madison Square Garden crowd. It was an instant classic, and given Hart's ascension to superstardom in the following years, the match became even greater after the years progressed. So, Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect, they have one of the best rivalries in the history of WWE. I mean, of course, he beat Mr. Perfect as well. I think twice. I could be wrong, but he beat Mr. Perfect, and it was a great match. They were going back and forth with each other, and Mr. Perfect was taking it to Bret Hart. I mean, Bret Hart was on Dream Street. I mean, he could not slow down the arsenal that Mr. Perfect brought to the table. But he somehow found a way, and he somehow came out victorious. I mean, Bret Hart as Intercontinental title. That right there, besides the tag team championship, to me kind of began his ascension to the top. And of course, he's a five-time WWE champion. So yeah. Our final moment, SummerSlam 2008. Our final SummerSlam moment takes us back to the year 2008, where we would see a first in SummerSlam history. Edge would face The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match for the first time ever. For the first time ever. The first time ever that a Hell in a Cell match took place at SummerSlam. This was an instant classic in so many ways. There have been many classic Hell in a Cell matches, but Undertaker's incredible victory over Edge in 2008 has to rank near the top after being banished from the ring a few months prior. Undertaker avenged himself in spectacular fashion. It was a vicious match that included tables, ladders, and chairs, and more than a few memorable moments. From Edge spearing Undertaker out of the cell to the dead man hitting his opponent with two of his own finishers to Taker's ruthlessly choke slamming Edge through the floor. The match contained enough brutal and heart stopping action to last a lifetime. So many moments over the years, and so many more to come. And with SummerSlam being less than a week away, who knows what to expect? Well, that's all for this week. And until next time, God bless. So, 2008 was the year I graduated high school, but I also remember SummerSlam 2008 because these two, I mean, they beat the hell out of each other, and Edge took it to Taker. I remember Edge climbed a ladder with a chair and he came off the top of the ladder with the chair onto Taker through a table. And before he jumped off the ladder, Edge said, "I understand." And then from there, the match just went on. It went on. And not only did Edge get choke slammed, he got choke slammed through the table. He got concertoed. Then he got tombstone. Then once the match ended, Taker, he took Edge to the top of a ladder, and then he said, "And now you're going to hell." And then he choke slammed Edge through the ring, and then smoke came up, and that was to the delight of Vicky Guerrero. So yeah, that was pretty sweet. All right, guys, I think that's gonna do it for me this week. Um, this upcoming week will be another this week in WWE report. I'm gonna possibly have everything done by Friday, and I'm gonna try to go on early next Saturday at around 12 because next Saturday is SummerSlam. So I'm gonna try to do, a show called This Week in WWE next Saturday at 12 as to giving you, all the happenings and everything that's going on in WWE. Also gonna preview the SummerSlam card, gonna react to still gonna react to Vince McMahon's retirement and what I think of it. And then from there, I'm gonna talk about potentially who could buy WWE, The Rock or Tony Khan. And I'll be looking forward to hearing